Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Today's show, Todd McShay's latest mock draft. And we're going to be reacting on who McShay thinks that the Las Vegas Raiders are going to take at pick 12 and at pick 19. But before we get in to pick number 12, I got to tell you who went off the board first, right? At pick number 7, the Carolina Panthers, they went with Derek Brown, defensive tackle out of Auburn. At pick number 8, Tristan Wirfs, going to the Cardinals. They're building something special there in Arizona. Justin Herbert fell to 9. I thought that one was pretty interesting. Then you saw Jedrick Wills out of Alabama. He's going to go to the Cleveland Browns. And then Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy going to the New York Jets. It's probably because, well, they're trying to build a little bit around Sam Darnold. So what does that mean exactly? To me, it means that 2 wide receivers are still on the board. So let's say you're Todd McShay. You know what? Let's say you're smarter than Todd McShay. And you got to pick a wide receiver. Are you going to go with CeeDee Lamb or are you going to go with Henry Ruggs? So I want you to type CeeDee for Lamb, and I want you to type HR for Henry Ruggs. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to make this the pinned comment. So while the ad is playing, I want you to scroll on down. Scroll on down. And I want you to comment which wide receiver you would pick. Type CeeDee for Lamb, or I want you to type HR for Henry Ruggs. Todd McShay went with CeeDee Lamb. Everyone type CeeDee. It's the right answer. Love this pick here by Todd McShay. The reason why McShay went, and this is what he wrote in the article, the Raiders, they were active on the defensive side of the football and free agency, so now they got to go wide receiver or offense with pick number 12. McShay also says that Tyrell Williams is not a number 1 wide receiver. I don't totally disagree. I just think Tyrell is a little bit more of a 1B. So for the Raiders, there is that glaring need at the wide receiver position. You got to put some more talent around Derek. If you want to see what Derek's got, go out and get him a number 1 guy. His ability, yards after the catch. I know if you watch the show, I've said it 100 times. But CeeDee Lamb's ability, once he catches the football, is what makes him special and what makes him, personally, my number 1 wide receiver. Now, the numbers there, they're great, okay? And if you watch his film, he's going to light up the screen. But here's a little bit of a homework assignment. I know, I'm giving you homework. That's not what I'm supposed to do on today's show. Watch him block. Because if you want a receiver that's going to really fit, I think, in this John Gruden, Josh Jacobs style running attack that we're going to be implementing, you need to find somebody that wants to block. CeeDee Lamb wants to block. He is a physical dude. And sure, didn't light up the NFL Combine, but he gets open, he creates separation. If the ball's in his area, he's bringing it down, and he's a Raider. Like, let's get one thing straight. This dude is a Raider, and I've seen a lot of people like, oh, he wants to be a Raider, the Fred Biletnikoff jersey. I think he wore the Fred Biletnikoff jersey, not so much because he wanted to be a Raider, but because he believes that he is the best wide receiver in all of college football. He believes that he is the best wide receiver in this year's draft. And I'm here to tell you that guess what? I believe that CeeDee Lamb is the number 1 wide receiver in this year's draft. Plus, he would fit our offense just so well. So let's just say the Raiders, at pick number 12, they bring in Lamb. This is what the depth chart, in my opinion, looks like. The Raiders went out. They signed Nelson Agholor. 1-year prove-it deal. To be honest, love the deal. But now you have Agholor as your number 4 receiver. And now you can add Hunter Renfrow, keep him there in the slot. Reliable hands. Tyrell Williams, wide receiver 2. This makes CeeDee the wide receiver 1. And honestly, don't be surprised then if the Raiders go out and then even target somebody in round 3, in round 4, because they still have some glaring needs. But at wide receiver 1, CeeDee Lamb, I'm telling you what right now, that's something that I would absolutely fall in love with. And when I saw this go down, it was an absolute home run for me that Todd McShay thought CeeDee Lamb was going to the Raiders. But I'm going to ask you, come on, you guys know how this show goes. Round 1, pick number 12, CeeDee Lamb to the Raiders. A, B, C, D, or F. If I see anything besides an A, I'm going to go nuts. I am going to go absolutely AWOL. And you know what? We might even block you. I don't know. But for me, if the Raiders can go address their biggest need, we got 700 people watching us live right now. It's an A. Heck, it's an A+. So get your grades in. Get them flowing in here. because I think the only way that I would ever see a B is normally when people bring up this quote by Mike Mayock. I'm a buyer beware guy on first round wideouts. If you do the homework, if you do the studies, if you look at the numbers, it's very sobering. And I think that there's some reasons why first round wideouts come in and don't have great production. This is something that Mike Mayock said at the NFL Combine. So how many Chucky heads on the Raiders drafting a wide receiver in round 1? I'll tell you. But first, I got to tell you about this deal I got going on right now. So if you guys need a new Raiders hat, chatsports.com/Raiders hat 4. That one that you see on screen, $26.59. Use promo code MELT. If you're looking for something, let's say a little bit cheaper, I got you. Chatsports.com/Raiders hat 5. $17.49. This deal will last until Thursday night, okay? But they are going quick. Take advantage of the deals. Use promo code MELT. If you can't remember the link, or if you don't know how to spell, I'll put it in the description. I'll put it in the comments section below. Chatsports.com/Raiders hat 5. So as promised, how many Chucky heads on the Raiders drafting a wide receiver in round 1? I used to have this at 3. I'm bumping it up. It's 4 Chucky heads. Believe it, baby. And you know what? I'm going to say this because this is how confident I am. If the Raiders don't draft a wide receiver in round 1, I'm going to shave my entire face. Okay? I haven't shaved my face in about, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years. I will shave it. Babyface Mitch. Because that's how confident I am that this team is going out and getting a wide receiver in round 1. You have to. It's our biggest need. It is by far our biggest need, and you need to be able to surround Derek with talent. Because if you don't surround Derek with talent, guess what we're going to be doing next year? We didn't surround Derek with talent. He needs to get a wide receiver. That's what we need to be able to see. And if you don't really care what I have to say in my Chucky heads, well, maybe you'll appreciate what Paul Gutierrez said about a month ago, because Paul Gutierrez said that there are 4 wide receivers that the Raiders would draft in round 1. The 4 receivers that he mentions, CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, and now this is the interesting one, Denzel Mims. Why is that interesting? Because of my mock draft about 2 months ago, I had the Raiders taking Denzel Mims in the 3rd, because that's where he was projected to go, and then my man just absolutely lit up the combine. Gruden obviously has a big say in everything, but I'm telling you what, and he's also said, Gruden, that the wide receiver class is deep. It is deep, but I'm telling you right now, the Raiders, they're drafting a receiver in round 1. Now, if you love the Raiders, if you bleed silver and black, subscribe to my channel. We just crossed 41K subscribers, so we're doing a lot of free giveaways the entire month of April. But if you need your rumors, if you need news, just everything Raiders, if you're a diehard fan, click the sub button, turn on the notifications so you know every single time we go live. And also, we're giving away this t-shirt. Who wants this shirt? Not the one I'm wearing. You're going to get a brand new one from Only One Nation. So they've hooked us up with a giveaway. And about, we'll say, I don't know, a few minutes from now, we're going to be giving away a free t-shirt from Only One Nation. So if you want it, type sub below. All right, let's get in now to pick number 19. But before we dive into pick 19, I got to show you the guys coming off the board before that. So you got Henry Ruggs III going to the 49ers. Not a big surprise there. Mekhi Becton, an offensive tackle that I absolutely flippin' love. Andrew Thomas out of Georgia. He goes to the Donkeys. So we got 13, 14, 15 off the board, which means we still got to get into 16, 17, and 18. So Javon Kinlaw off going to the Falcons. C.J. Henderson, a player that I actually really like for the Raiders at 17. And then at pick number 18, you got a Xavier McKinney, safety out of Bama. So what does that mean? Well, I know it's kind of hard to see the draft board, so here are the next 4 players that go off the board. Who would you draft, okay? Would you draft Justin Jefferson, type A? I'm going to leave this on screen. We're going to let some votes come in. Would you go Patrick Queen, linebacker? I want you to type B. If you're going to go wide receiver from Arizona State, Brandon Ayuk, type C. Or would you go with Antoine Winfield Jr. out of Minnesota? I want you to type D. So get your votes coming in here. Get them all flowing. A for Jefferson, B for Queen, C for Ayuk, or D for Antoine Winfield. He goes with Todd McShay, round 1, pick number 19 for the Las Vegas Raiders, Antoine Winfield Jr. And the reasons why McShay ended up going this route, he says because they went with CeeDee Lamb in round 1, so now you should address the defensive position. He also says that cornerback is a bigger need than safety. However, he just thinks that Antoine Winfield is a player that Mike Mayock and John Gruden are going to fall in love with. Why? Because of his tremendous versatility. And there is no doubt that he has tremendous versatility. And I'm a Big Ten guy. I grew up in Pennsylvania. I grew up watching Penn State. So guess what? I do watch a lot of Big Ten football. Now, he is a little bit undersized at 5'10". Heck, even at the combine, I think he measured in at like just under 5'10". But if you're looking for a player who makes things happen, he's actually one of the biggest reasons why Minnesota was on the board this year and made it into the top 10. He had 7 interceptions, 3.5 sacks, 1 pass breakup, 83 tackles. Now, at first, I was like, really? Only 1 pass breakup, 7 interceptions. You know what that means? The ball's in his area. Dude's coming down with it. He's got ball skills. If you ever see or hear the word ball skills on our main Chat Sports channel, that means you're taking a drink. So I wanted to also show you, though, his 2020 NFL Combine metrics, because I know some people are like, Mitch, we don't watch all that much college football. I try to watch tape on players that I think the Raiders could be interested in. So Winfield is a guy that I've started to look into. He's 5'9", 203 pounds. That's what he measured in at the Combine. The 4.45 40 is pretty interesting to me, because I also want you to think about like what a guy like Jeudy ran, 4.46. The vertical jump, the broad jump are a little bit better than CeeDee Lamb. I believe CeeDee Lamb's also broad jump was 124 inches. So Antoine Winfield at 5'9", 203 pounds, he also can really lay the wood. But if you go out and draft him at pick 19, in my opinion, this means you're putting him in as a starter. So this is what I think the depth chart would look like with Winfield. I think you put him there at free safety. And then I think that you have Eric Harris, Jeff Heath kind of helping out Jonathan Abram, helping out Winfield when they can. Winfield and Abram would be fun, man. Like, if you're looking for just hard-hitting Raiders, those are 2 dudes, no doubt. Now, I still think that then they need to address the cornerback position, because as much as I love Mullen, Eli Apple cannot be our cornerback too. And I don't really think like that's the plan, and I don't think he's going to be, but that's just kind of how it's looking like right now. I will say this. There's a part of me, big part of me, that kind of wishes the Raiders would just put LaMarcus Joyner back at free safety. If you agree with me, like the video. So how about this now? We're going to grade the pick, okay? I made you guys grade CeeDee Lamb, and I basically knew all y'all were going to type A. This one I'm a little bit interested to see. Round 1, pick 19. Antoine Winfield Jr. to the Raiders. A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to give some shout-outs because I am genuinely curious. We got over 750 people watching us live right now as my computer is loading up here a little bit. For me, I'm going to give this a B grade. I think he's a good player. I think it's a little bit of a reach, to be honest. I think it's a player who is versatile, who would fit in our locker room, but I do think it's a little bit of a reach. For me, though, I see David Young says C, Baltazar says B. I am seeing a lot of B, so I think that we can agree on this. Todd McShay is great. However, the best guy in the biz when it comes to NFL draft content, it's Tom Downey. I know you guys have seen him on here. Go give him a follow on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. So I asked Tom, I'm like, hey, man, who are your top 5 safeties in this year's NFL draft? He said, number 1 is Grant Delpit. Number 2 is McKinney. Number 3 is Winfield. Number 4 is Davis. And then number 5, Duggar, who was in my last mock draft for the Raiders. Grant Delpit was still on the board. So for me, if we had a chance to go out and get a Delpit and we took Winfield over Delpit, I trust Tom enough and I believe in what Tom does enough to say that's why I'm giving this pick a B grade. So how about this now? Now we're going to grade the entire thing. So CeeDee Lamb at pick 12, Antoine Winfield at pick number 19. So from a scale of 0 to 100, okay? 0 being it's the worst mock draft you've ever seen, like just super bad. Great movie though. Or 100 being the greatest mock draft you've ever seen. Also, I will be coming out with a new updated mock draft of my own because the last video that I did got over 1,000 likes, so stay tuned for that. I'm seeing some 79s, 83, and 80. Somebody gave it a 92. 69 is probably the right answer. So grade the mock draft. CeeDee Lamb at 12, Winfield Jr. at 19 from 0 to 100. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.